What's up, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at some War of Wizards. Going to be going over one of the new spells that's on free rotation this week. That's going to be the Dragon spell. It's got a 120-second cooldown, and mana usage is actually dependent on accuracy, so that's pretty nice. You get a little reward for making it more accurate. You'll burn a little less mana while using it. Size is going to be damage dependent. So we're going to jump into a game here, take a look at that spell, kind of see how it works. We're running it with the healing spell just to get a little bit of extra healing when need be. We're going to do Imperial Command. I like this one just because it's kind of a cheap extra unit you can throw on the field pretty easily. And Machine Gun spell, which is another spell I like. It's a quicker one, has a 44-second cooldown, cheap 200 mana usage, and it's a really nice kind of all-around spell. It can be used pretty good on offense to do some damage to your opponent, do damage to their units, and defense to help clean up summons and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at those. We've got some pre-selected falling spells here. We're starting off with the Confusion spell. I like this one just because if you're playing against an opponent that has a lot of summons, it uses a whole lot of different troops on the field, this can be really nice to help break that up. It's good too, can help kind of bail you out of some situations where you get overrun by a lot of troops, and then you can pop that to help clear out those guys. We've also got the Summon Water Elemental. I like this one because it applies a buff to your units, so it's pretty good in situations where you can get a quick kill on the opponent to summon your extra minions, and then throw down an Imperial Command, pair it with the Water Elemental, and you get a lot of troops out there that are all getting that buff, and you can sort of steamroll through some people pretty quickly like that. So we're going to be taking a look at some of that today. We've been playing a little bit, gotten ourselves up to Grand Mage 2, just kind of working on moving up the board. Played with a couple of guys here on the top leaderboards recently and seen kind of what they're running. Seems that Abyssal Quartet is really popular right now, paired with Last Stand. It's a good combination. You can pop your Last Stand and then basically just spam Abyssal Quartet, and it's really difficult to deal with. You get a lot of these summon guys out there, and your basic field units won't target them, so you have to do something about it. For me, generally, I try and get off a machine gun spell, take out some of the more annoying ones, and deal with the rest. We're working on getting some gold so that we can maybe get that spell soon and test it out, see how it goes. But yeah, we'll be jumping into a game here soon and testing out the Dragon today. Got a couple others on the free rotation with the Hurricane, nice pushback, some shielding, Fireball, good offensive spell. The Blizzard is nice. That's a nice little slowdown and damage effect on things. And then Sacrificial Fusion, which I haven't used yet, so we'll probably test that out soon. Go over maybe another video with that one, see how that goes. But yeah, for now, we're going to try Dragon, see how that works.
Welcome to War of Wizards.
Yeah, almost some.
See how we go here. We got Grand Mage 4, so I think we're pretty close here in rank. So I'm Grand Mage 2 right now.
I'm kind of cooked right now.
We'll turn the
Here's-
volume
I
down
just
just
know
a
what
little
it
bit. And I like to start off with an Imperial Mage. I think it's good starting spell just to kind of get something out on the field. If our opponent just stands there and lets us pop him, that's nice too. But looks like he is going to move a little bit. We get one hit there for the little bit of mana. Allows me to go in for a machine gun spell really quick, which is nice. He's going to go for the God spell, which is a bit of a bummer, but we'll do what we can against that. Generally, if they're going to go in for a like God spell like that, you'll want to focus on just taking out the troops. You want to play just the ground game, so I want to try and get another Imperials down just as quickly as we can here while we're dead, so that we have some troops on the field doing something for us. And then, yeah, when we get back in, we will have full mana, so we'll try and probably pop this Dragon when he's out of that, and then we can get a quick kill on him that way, maybe. We'll see if we can make that work for us. Not a great draw on that one, but it's alright. It doesn't need to be super good. It's pretty hard to dodge this spell, so you can usually get a lot of damage on people with it, even if they're moving around a lot. And so we got him pretty low there. We'll try and pop a few shots. He looks like he's going to try and make a fireball. One thing with the fireball to note is that the size is really not that important in that spell. So generally what I like to do with that is use a much smaller casting to kind of conceal it from your opponent so that they don't know what's coming. We don't want to get hit with this sheep. That'll be annoying, so we'll get that. We'll clear out some of these troops here, do some damage on the back ones. We'll get another Imperial command down there to help us with this push. And then we got our confusion spell, so that's nice. I like having that one just because it can kind of disrupt their spawns. This is a spell I actually I'm not familiar with this spell. I don't know what that's doing to me. See, maybe we need to wave it off. I don't know, but regardless, we'll just heal through this. It doesn't appear to be doing that much damage, so pop a quick heal. It's nice. It'll apply to our units out there as well as us. We're watching out for his fireball. Going to move out of the way of that so we don't take the hit. And it looks like he's gonna go for a ghost or maybe a sheep spell there. Yeah, okay, sheep spell. So we'll get nothing out. We got hit with that one too quick. We'll take a second here. He's gonna do some kind of dragon summon. So it's really important just make sure you're always watching kind of what your opponent is doing to know what you have to deal with. The dragon is annoying to like constantly try and dodge. You can dodge it. It shoots one side and then the other side. So if you just sort of strafe side to side, you can dodge the vast majority of its attacks, but that takes a lot of thinking sometimes while the opponent is doing stuff to you. And so again, we will get a heal off here. Probably should have thrown my Imperial summons down first there, just to get them out and have them be part of the heal. And then in this case, we do like to take our water summons. And now you can see we've got our Imperial units down. We'll get our water summons down. Got a good cast on that. So this should kind of just steamroll him at this point. We can pop a little extra damage here. That'll be nice. Get some of the mana back up because looks like he's trying to use that new fusion spell. We'll see if it applied to anything. If it did, we'll try and just machine gun it down. We're gonna try and dodge this sheep. I've had a hard time with this sheep spell. It's difficult to dodge. Oh, it doesn't matter. We got his core, so it was a good game. And yeah, the dragon spell there was all right. He did a pretty good job dodging that one, so we didn't get as much damage with it as we'd like. It was also not a very good cast. So we'll try and see maybe next time if we can do a little bit better. We got some good casts. The water summons, like I said, once you get your Imperial units, you've got units on the field, the water summons, the buff can tend to just sort of steamroll people and overwhelm them pretty easily. So that's what happened in that game. But yeah, overall, it was a good game. So we'll jump into the next one and see how it goes. Okay, so we are back. Had a bit of an issue with the game sound going crazy there. The recording got a bit messed up because the audio settings seem to revert for some reason. So I'm going to hop in again and see if that works out. We had a good game against one of these guys here. He did end up beating us, but it was a good game. Was using a lot of summons, both the Imperial and the water summons in his deck, so that was a good game. We are going to hop into another one, see if we can get a little bit more practice here with the dragon and see how that goes. We are trying to get a little bit better at this. This spell I've been having a hard time with its accuracy, so I'm looking to make a little bit better use of that. The accuracy is important with the mana. It allows us to cast it with a little less mana in hand just because we'll be burning less mana while doing it. And then, obviously damage is size dependent. So we'll hop into another one and see if we can do a little bit better with that. But we are steadily working our way up, almost able to get up to this Abyssal Quartet spell, which is one I really want to try. So we'll run another couple games with the same setup here, see how it goes, and then we'll probably do a future video here practicing on the Sacrificial Fusion. I kind of want to see how that goes. It's one of the other new spells. The pushback spell, Hurricane here, Shield, and Fireball. These are all these are some of the first spells that were added into the game. So most people are probably familiar with how these work. I might add in Fireball and stuff into some of the other decks when we're using Sacrificial Fusion, just to kind of show some tips and tricks on that. It's a good spell, but yeah, we'll jump in here and see how this one goes. And hopefully we have no audio issues. Okay, so great. We'll see another game here against a Grand Sage. This is a different Grand Sage of Magic than we had in the game that didn't work out, but we'll see how this one goes. We'll again turn down the volume just a little bit so we aren't in the way of that, but we'll do an Imperial one. So this spell is going to be the Ouroboros spell. It increases his summoning potential, so he's probably going to have a heavy summon deck, which means it's going to be pretty important for us to get that confusion spell later on so that we can do that. If he ends up running purification with it, we will have kind of more trouble, and it'll come down ultimately to just making sure that we can out damage him. Generally, if they're going to have a heavy summon deck, then what you'll see is they tend to not have a lot of offensive potential. So if you can keep up the offense, this is another bad cast of this one, but hopefully it'll be okay enough to get him out of here. So he is going to be running Fireball. Got a good hit on me there. So we'll try and finish him off with that. See if we can damage down some of these guys before they roll through us. And then we'll see what we can do here in the later stages of this game. So we do want to pick this up pretty quickly. That'll help us with his enhanced summons and stuff. Just making sure that we don't take too much damage from those. We can slow them down a little bit. And we'll want to keep up our heals just because he does also have damage potential. So he's got a nuke spell. As long as we can heal up here, we should be okay. That was, a very fast cast of that. So I guess not. As soon as we get back in here, we're going to need to deal with his troops. So we'll probably end up dropping Confusion after he does his Ouroboros several times over and see if we can deal with that. We did get his tower early on, which is nice for us. So we have a little bit of an advantage there, and we will take out some of his troops' health just to give us a little bit of the advantage on that. We are going to try and get some troops of our own down. This will encourage him to go in and put his own troops down, which we will pretty immediately try and throw Confusion on if he does do that, and he does. So we'll wait for them to kind of come out and then try and hit them with a Confusion to sort of give us an advantage on that. And he's going to be a pretty good player, dodges a lot, dodges quickly, so that's really important. You always want to make sure that you're dodging. It's a major component of the game to not get hit by stuff. That's what's nice about Machine Gun, is it's very difficult to dodge the entirety of it, but we will use some of it now to take out his troops early on, and then we'll get some damage on him here. Hopefully, if we can get a quick kill, we need to get some troops of our own to defend against this. We will watch out for his fireball spell. Like I said before, it's always very important to watch what your opponent is casting so that you are ready. And wow, we probably should have stopped that. We had an S accuracy there, an S size, until we screwed it up somehow by actually completing it. We did manage to take him out before he got that spell off. So a good one here. Probably we will just take our water summons on this. I mean, we could try and get Sheepify, but it just, with an opponent that dodges so much, it can be difficult. So we might actually just end up, taking him out. So talk about that one a little bit. So this guy had Fireball as basically like one of his only offensive spells. He did have the nuke, but the nuke is kind of hit or miss. Like, if you don't draw it well enough, it won't fully kill your opponent. If they're full health, it kills all the troops on the field, so you're sacrificing your own stuff. And especially when he's running kind of a combination of trying to buff his own summons, that is a little bit counterproductive to like what his deck build is. But at the end of the day, like, we were able to dodge his fireball most of the time there, and we just had a little bit more offensive potential. So because he has to focus on building up stacks of his Ouroboros spell in order to amplify his summons, we were able to keep up offensive pressure on him a lot more with our dragon, our machine gun, and overall just ended up beating him from just kills, more or less. So we had him off the field long enough that he couldn't get his buffed guys out there. So that's sort of how we ended up taking that one. But good player, obviously. I mean, Grand Sage of Magic, he knows what he's doing, so it obviously works for him most of the time. He just got a little bit unlucky there. So we will jump into one more here, see how it goes. And then we will pick up focusing on some of these other spells probably in our next video. I'm going to try and get this one out and then work on some stuff, see what kind of works with this, and then we'll get another video going out on those. We are getting pretty close to being able to get Abyssal Quartet here, which I saw it a lot in the beginning. I haven't seen it as much, so we haven't been able to get a match with somebody playing that yet. But it is pretty good. And so, okay, we're going to end up going against the same guy here. So we'll see if we can, again, keep up. So it's going to be a bit of the same story, just keeping up our offensive potential, making sure that we can out-damage him most of the time and keep our units from being dead while he's trying to utilize his Ouroboros spell consistently and get that buff on himself. So he's pretty consistent, pretty good with his dodges, which means it's harder for us to build up mana early on. But we will, at this point, just kind of wait it out and get our machine gun spell moving so that we can kind of take down some of his stuff here. He obviously got a slightly better cast on his Imperial units since they beat out my guys. But we will do another, we'll test out this dragon one more time, see if we can get a good one. That's a pretty good cast on that. We'll have to see if we can get him taken down through his dodging. I think we will probably do. So now we're going to try and use the rest of this time to do some damage on his guys. We want to get, again, confusion since he's not running purification. It seems that makes it a little bit easier for us to utilize that early on. And so we'll see kind of what he's trying to do here. It looks like he's attempting to get some Imperial Summons out, so we will prep this Confusion spell to try and disrupt that a little bit since we don't have our own units on the field right now. That will help out a lot in slowing that down. So that was the pushback. That must be what he got from the drop there, because I don't think he was running that one last time. The Confusion or pushback spell is okay, but honestly, I find that it sort of just delays your problem for later. Like it doesn't damage the troops, so it just pushes them back, and then you end up kind of in this situation where now he has like a double wave that he has to deal with, and he does have, like obviously a good summon deck, so he's able to kind of deal with that if he can get his whole setup going where he's got Ouroboros casted several times over. But if I just hold this Confusion spell here, he's going to have to do something about that. And then we can hit his troops here with a nice Confusion spell. He'll get his guys out. And then what we'll end up doing is just trying to machine gun through them. Since they are going to be buffed, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but we'll see if we can break through the majority of them with that. We do. We'll get a little bit of damage on him there. And then we will see if we don't take him out right here. We will prep up a dragon, and he's going to try and nuke it. So we'll see if that works out for him.
It'll be back by the time I'm back.
Going to go a little bit faster. It's a good distraction here. If we can kill him at the same time that he kills us, that's great. Oh, and his cast wasn't perfect, so he didn't get the kill. So like I said, the nuke, kind of hit or miss, is like it does kill everything on the field, but at the same time, if you don't cast it perfectly, it doesn't do enough damage to kill your opponent. And so yeah, here basically with these things, we'll basically go back to our standard thing of taking our water summons to get a buff. We're gonna kind of hold off here for a minute doing anything too crazy, try and build up a little bit of mana so that we can hit him with a double summon. We will need to get a heal off or pay a lot more attention as he's casting spells to make sure we don't die. We'll try and get a little heal right here. It'll help the fight in the middle. And that's good for us. We got 2 nice hits there. So we will try and get in a double summon as quickly as we are capable of with the ice or the water guys and our Imperial units. As soon as we get the mana for that, see, like now this, I don't really agree with that play because like I said, he's just delaying this problem. So he's gonna have to deal with a lot larger like group of enemies coming his way, and especially again if I prep a Confusion spell right away to use on his large Ouroboros summon whenever he decides to go in for that, there's not a lot he can do about it. He'll throw a nuke, which is a good idea. That's probably his best option for getting rid of everything. So we'll cancel out this spell, go in for another set of summons so that we can get a little bit more on the field. He keeps trying to has like a golem spell over there, but I don't know if he even has the golem, so I'm not sure why he keeps drawing that out, or he's just having a really hard time getting it to work. I'm not sure what's happening there. Oh, so he does have it, and so we'll get a heal off that'll kind of help, and then this pushback is like, I don't know, again, it's an interesting move because it does just give me a little bit extra time where my troops aren't dying, and I can prep this spell a little bit easier, get a large group of those to kind of fight each other.
Purification in just
we don't have to worry about it as much. And then in order to actually take that golem out, we're going to try and do a machine gun. It's one of our higher offensive potential moves. Machine gun's nice too, especially like when spells are falling. You can use it to crack your spell kind of easier without taking as much time to focus on aiming your shot. We're gonna need to do something here to get rid of this golem, and since he keeps pushing my guys back, I will just keep making more if he's gonna give me the opportunity to do that, because every time he pushes them back, he's really just delaying the problem for himself over time and giving us slightly more options for how we deal with him. Again, like we can drop a confusion in the middle of all of his things, and now this is going to do a lot for us to get rid of his guys. We'll go in for our dragon spell now that we have a little bit of extra ability. That nuke doesn't quite kill us, so that's good. We can utilize this fire dragon guy a little bit easier. Now there's not so much stuff in the way. And we've got him down there, so we get an extra summon. And so with our extra summon, he's got a revivify kind of spell over there, so that's okay. We'll use the other spell we picked up here. The poison arrow is pretty good, does decent damage. He is pretty good at dodging. This is a fast spell, so kind of wait out his dodges, try and predict him, but it doesn't work every time. I mean, good players are going to be moving a lot. They're going to be dodging when they're getting attacked. It's extremely important when you're playing against more offensive style decks like what we have. So we'll use some of our offensive ability here to take out his guys. We can kind of disrupt a little bit more with another confusion, giving us more ability to win this bridge battle. We will get our buff troops out to amplify the abilities of our troops on his core here, and then he's going to go in for another nuke, but hopefully the buff will do it for us, and
Dang
it
it,
does.
GG's, that's a good combo.
So yeah, we got him on that one. Good player, just kind of matchup advantage for us there, just like having more offensive potential than he does with our machine gun combined with the dragon spell is what sort of gave us that win. He did switch up. It looks like he was running, I think he was running Fireball last game. I can't remember now, but switched it up to the Revivify in between games. So he was trying to do a little something different. But overall, yeah, we ended up taking the win just by getting, again, the sort of steamroll effect of having our water elementals with our guys and being able to take out his guys. Using our confusion spell when he had his Ouroboros buff on his big guys was a big help, and he played it really well with the nuke spell. Like every time he was kind of overwhelmed, he would get that nuke off, which is similar to the strategy that I use confusion for. It's just a little less of a sort of scorched earth move where my troops don't die, but it gives me a little bit more damage potential on his guys. So yeah, good player. Just we got a matchup advantage there. So I think that's probably where we'll end this one today. And then next video, we'll pick up, probably test out the sacrificial fusion, see how that works. And yeah, so thanks for watching, and tune back in tomorrow for some more content.